Army safe, Army strong, hooah. I like that, I like that. Today's safety brief that we're going to give today involves motorcycle safety and the requirements for PPE, whether you're an operator, a passenger, a soldier, a civilian, or a dependent. If you operate a motorcycle, you have to abide by these rules. On post for everybody. Off post, it applies only to soldiers. But and I'm going to say this again, we encourage everybody to wear these things all the time. And if you're a supervisor, a leader, a commander, and you see someone on post or off post that's not wearing the correct PPE, which I'm going to show just exactly what it is, piece by piece, I'm going to, well, basically lay it out in front of you. Make a correction. Because if you don't make a correction, you just approved something they were doing wrong, and they'll do it wrong again. Make that correction on the spot. We all have that responsibility to make that correction for anyone. I have 6 slides today, and as I went through the slides, I started thinking, you know, how much of this material is everyone really going to take with them when they leave? So, like I said, we've devised a different way of doing this. So, Colonel Menist, with your permission, sir.
Please proceed.
Yes, sir. Come on in here, Sergeant Crow. Come on, right on over here. Perfect. Don't stand in front of me. I got to have my camera time. First piece of PPE that's required are gloves. Not just any gloves. These have to be full finger gloves or mittens made of leather or other abrasion resistant material. Why? Because the first thing you're going to put down if you have an accident on a motorcycle are going to be your hands on the ground. Flip slide, please. Next piece of PPE is a EU-approved helmet. A DOD helmet is what's required in the U.S. In Italy and Austria and Germany, Benelux, over here it's actually an EU helmet. It'll be stamped EU and it'll have a country number on it. One of the more important things to have when you put your helmet on is a secure buckle on it and buckle it underneath your chin. Make sure that helmet's put on correctly. Eye protection, which we recommend that the eye protection be built into the helmet like Sergeant Crow has here. He's got that shield that comes down. If you're going to wear the open-face Dale Earnhardt helmet without the shield on it, you're taking a chance. If you decide to do that, your eyewear, your eyeglasses have to meet the ANSI 71 standard. And I know everyone in here knows what that is, correct? If you don't, come by the safety office and I can explain that to you. But we recommend definitely the closed helmet. Foot protection. Foot protection has to be sturdy, over the ankle footwear. It's got to protect the feet and the ankles.
How far are we going to go with this, Derek?
Sir, I had your permission.
Okay.
Oh, boy. In addition to the foot protection, you also have to have on a long sleeve shirt or jacket. We recommend a jacket like Sergeant Crow has on here right now. He's got a jacket and he's got the overliner with the reflective material on it. So he's going to take those off. Made of such materials such as leather, Kevlar, impact absorbing material. It's got to be fluorescent and it's got to be reflective so you can be seen at night. Okay.
Don, if I could ask you a question.
Sir.
The reflective vest
Yes, sir.
on his vest. What about a reflective belt or one of the over-the-shoulder vests? Is that authorized?
No, sir. Any
And why not?
Any reflective gear used for PT is not authorized because it's not big enough to show a good profile of you. If you have just a reflective little belt on, you show a really small profile. But per the commanding general use, sir, those are not allowed. Sir.
Great answer. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Long pants, abrasion-resistant material, again, Kevlar. Sergeant Crow, go ahead.
I think I might have to stop you there.
Okay. Per the USAG General, Commanding General, soldiers assigned in Europe will wear a vest, jacket, upper outer garment, or motorcycle clothing that incorporates fluorescent and highly reflective material at all times when operating a motorcycle on and off post. And again, civilians are encouraged to follow the same because it just makes sense. The host nation, local nationals, they have their own rules. They have to wear a helmet. They abide by those. If you're going to ride a motorcycle and you're a soldier, on or off post, this is what you wear. And it has to meet all the standards. Civilians on post, again, this is what you wear. We encourage everyone to wear this at all times. Let me tell you a story here. This is a great story. And it happened in May of this year. USAG Vicenza, the community, had a soldier that was riding to work at 4 o'clock in the morning on his motorcycle. This soldier had been trained, and he was wearing all his PPE. He rounded a curve, he hit gravel in the road. The motorcycle tried to low side where it slides out from underneath him. He corrected it and maybe overcorrected it a little bit, and it actually high-sided and tossed this soldier off in the road. Again, this soldier had the training, and he had the correct PPE on. That soldier was Sergeant Crowe. He sustained a TBI, traumatic brain injury, which is a concussion. He was unconscious. And he sustained also a minor injury to his hip. And I asked him, I said, you're willing to come up here and do this. What's your message? And he said, the message is get the proper training, ride within your limits, and wear your personal protective equipment. Because one loss is too many. One loss for the Army is too many. Always operate to arrive alive. Wear the PPE that Sergeant Crowe has demonstrated. Get your training. If there's any questions or anyone wants a copy of the brief, come by the safety office and we'll provide it to you. Army safe, Army strong. Cool.
Keep calm and ask your And if I could, I'll add a few extra, no, you can keep going and get back dressed. A few additional comments on this. One, obviously, Lieutenant General Campbell is very passionate about motorcycle safety, and in fact, it requires all leaders to be a part of the solution and the enforcement of these standards. It is not just an MP job to enforce standards, certainly. I'm sure the command sergeant majors at this table would certainly agree that it's all leaders' responsibility when we see a standard that's not being met to correct it. So as you see someone that is not wearing the appropriate PPE for motorcycles, please help enforce that standard for us. Don't let it become a new standard by letting it pass by, as Don said. Additionally, I think everyone here knows we're in Italy, right? Raise your hands. Okay. Oh, no one raised their hands. All right. So local national laws are slightly different than our Army regulations and U.S. laws. That's just a fact that we live here in Italy. And based upon the SOFA agreement and our technical arrangements with the country of Italy, there are certain regulations that are not enforceable on Italian local nationals when they come on our base. This is an Italian base. There's an Italian base commander and Carabinieri, Italian law enforcement that enforces those rules for them. So I know it appears like there's a double standard, and unfortunately that's just part of living in Italy. That is the way it is. Just like there's a different SOFA when you live in Germany and when you live in Japan, when you live in Korea. They each have their own separate negotiation with that country for what our status of forces agreement are and how the law enforcement is enforced on those bases. So just ask for your patience with that. Again, this is for U.S. soldiers, their family members, dependents, DA civilians, and our U.S. Population here on base.